Uber 757 here. Beautiful day here on the James River. That's Scotland over there. Jamestown, Scotland ferry. On the other side of the Jamestown, Scotland ferry. And further down that way, behind that tree, just to here out of the camera's view, is historical Jamestown as far as the fort is concerned, the actual archaeological site. I am doing my regular job today. For those that know me on Facebook, you know where I work, but for those on YouTube, of course you guys know, drive tour buses for a living, and I have a trip today here to Jamestown. And this is the ruins of the town of Jamestown, Virginia, with a fort that way. And I'm going to walk you guys around. If you come here, you'll still see some of the foundations to the homes that were here in the area. The remains of the Ambler House are still standing. That house has been through 2 wars. And then after being basically destroyed, burnt down in 2 wars, after the 3rd fire, they abandoned it. And until 1699, Jamestown was the seat of power in colonial Virginia. This is where the House of Burgess was. As a matter of fact, on the other side of the actual fort, which is out of view over that way, is the foundation for the House of Burgess, which is, of course, now known as the Virginia General Assembly, for which I used to actually drive a private motor coach for a little while for a former member of the Virginia General Assembly. But some of you know who he is, but I'm not going to say who he is. Alright, as we come over here, around near the Ambler House, there's actually a little bit of African American history right up over in this area here, right around 1625 or so, give or take. There were a few African Americans here, or Africans here. They weren't Americans yet because America didn't exist yet. In these houses here, this is actually like, think of like the nicest houses in your neighborhood, in your town, in your city. This is the area where the nicest houses used to be at here at Jamestown that were away from the original fort. Of course, this is the Ambler House here, somewhat still standing. Used to be one of the finest houses in the region. But went through 2 wars, and after burning down the 3rd time, it was abandoned and left pretty much in its current state. They've got some metal there reinforcing it so it doesn't collapse. But you can look at it and you can tell that probably at one time it was nice, very nice. Yeah, the sign says they abandoned it in 1895. It belonged to, I'll just read it for you. It says the Ambler House was built by the Ambler family in the 1750s as the centerpiece of a fine plantation estate. Wow, I can't even talk. A refined Georgian-style home. It was comparable to the elegant George Wythe House in Williamsburg. The house was burned in 2 wars, and after a 3rd fire in 1895, it was abandoned. There you go. So this is the part of Jamestown that a lot of people, a lot of the school kids that I normally bring over here, even when it's warmer, don't usually come this far down here. But after the fort was built, which is actually before us, this is where Jamestown was. This is where they made the oyster, they had the oyster shells laid down, and they actually made mortar for some of the buildings actually here. These mounds that you see were used for multiple things. They would mark off property boundaries. They would also, of course, act as drainage. For anyone from the Eastern Virginia, you know, we're pretty low to water anyway. And they would also, of course, mark off the roadway itself. Right now, we're actually on Main Street in the town of Jamestown. So I'm going to cut this video off. We're going to walk a little bit further up there. Then I'm going to turn the video back on to try to not make it too long. Okay, when I turned the video off before, we were actually back down there a little bit here on Main Street in Jamestown. And now we're coming up past the monument. The monument here, I think they put it up to celebrate the 300th, I think it was 300th year anniversary back in the day. But we're going to go ahead and walk off of Main Street. And there's some of the folks that were on my bus. You can see him talking to the park ranger there. He's teaching them a thing or two. But there's the church. We're going to go inside there in a minute. The road kind of wiggles around. So we aren't going the right way, but I tried to stay on the actual path. I don't want to be disrespectful, so. Of course, you can see one of the ferries, the Jamestown, Scotland ferry. The ferry is actually big enough that my motor coach can go on the ferry. There's another ferry coming from Scotland, from the Surrey side. Anyway, let's go into Jamestown real quick. And this is the actual archaeological site to Jamestown, Virginia. This is the actual fort. There is another fort way over there, but that's in the visitor center, and it's a reproduction. Hey, how you doing? I'm a fire person like you.
Do you know your way around this?
What are you looking for?
The underground basement where Jane was found or whatever? Or the original town standing above ground? Or
the original town?
Yeah.
The town is over there.
Over where?
Over that way.
That way.
Now look, if you go through here and you basically go that way, you'll see like a mound of dirt on both sides. That's Main Street. That's the old Main Street to the town of Jamestown right there. So kind of go that way. And see that mound of dirt right there?
Yeah.
Yeah, literally. The mounds of dirt, that actually marked off where the streets were in the original town of Jamestown after the fort was built. And they built the town over there. And there's also ruins of a house, what's still standing down there, and also some foundations of houses down that way as well.
Sweet.
So what you're looking for as far as the house goes in town is down that way.
Okay. And then the basement where Jane was found?
Now that I don't know.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. But the town is that way, what's left of it, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. See, not only am I a bus driver, I'm also a history teacher. Anyway, we're here in the actual fort, and also there's a statue here of course, Captain John Smith here in the fort. Say hi, Captain Smith. Captain Smith, of course, the first governor of the Commonwealth of Virginia before the U.S. was even a nation. And this is a seawall here that was built, I think, by the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, because the actual shoreline used to extend quite a ways further out than now because of erosion. They put this in back in the day to protect it from eroding further. They actually didn't know where the actual archaeological site for Jamestown was for a while. It actually got lost because actually after pretty much the town moved to, or the House of Burgess anyway, moved to Williamsburg. Of course, the town, you know, it basically deteriorated, if you will, as far as the actual original area. And actually, I forgot what the actual fort was for a while. So, and there's the Jamestown Scotland Ferry again, one of them. I'll take the ferry sometimes when I'm coming from the mountain bike trails in Williamsburg, and I'll take the back way, take the ferry. It's pretty cool. So, and this is the how the fort used to look back in the day. 1607 to 1611. And of course, this area here and part of there is now in the water, where the current water line is gone. All right, take you guys into church real quick. All right, it's church here at Jamestown. There's various plaques here commemorating various things that happened here at Jamestown. Various things going on. So, and they are always excavating this church and actually, finding new stuff. And that thing there says, "Here lies the body of someone," the body of John, someone, minister. So somebody's grave is right here. Every time I come here, they're doing something different to this site. I know they reconstructed some of this stuff. Let me see. Yeah, they reconstructed part of this church here because of Bacon's rebellion. A couple of things that happened here. There's also a plaque over there to, I'm going to say it wrong. Basically, Matoka, which is the actual name of Pocahontas. So, Matoka. Sorry about the light. You can't really see it that well. Maybe the Note 5 will clear up some, but that's pretty much a thing near to her. So, in memory of the colonial governors and presidents of the council, officially resident, it says, at Jamestown 1607 to 1698. All right. And of course, there were people actually buried here. All right, let me take you over here to another part of the site real quick. All right, I'm sorry about the long video, but trying to show you guys something. Here on Uber 757. And these are Confederate earthworks here. You can see these earthworks were erected by the Confederate troops in 1861. All that there right by the fort as part of a defense system to block Union penetration of the James River. So there's even Civil War history here at Jamestown, on Jamestown Island. Now this is going to be a long video, but something different here on Uber 757. Like I said, my main job, I drive commercially for a living. This is what I do. I take people places like this, and because I've been here so many times, I learned so much about the history of our country. Gives you an appreciation for being an American. As I talked about earlier, you can see here, this is the site of the first landing, basically right before us there across the seawall, and you can see the shoreline of the 17th century, as I told you guys before, used to be much further out than it is right now. This is where it is currently with the seawall. So I want to show you guys one more thing. Maybe two more things. I think that's something that I want to show you. No, I know the main thing I want to show you. Yep. That's what this cross commemorates here. That ridge over there, that's where the very first burials here at Jamestown took place. For people that died. So what we're about to walk into is indeed a graveyard, but there's something else too. So this is basically a graveyard here. Beyond the ridge. So we're on the ridge right now. So over that way there basically was a graveyard over there. And well, I guess it is a graveyard. And where we're standing right now, as I told you guys before in the beginning of this video, of course I drive tour buses, but I used to drive a private motor coach for a former member of the Virginia General Assembly of the Commonwealth of Virginia. And that used to be known as the House of Burgess. Well, that is the foundation of the House of Burgess, basically the original House of Burgess here in the Commonwealth of Virginia, which is now known as the General Assembly. So anyway, from historic Jamestown Island, from the actual archaeological remains right over there, this Uber 757 here. And remember, my friends, history is important because to study history gives you an appreciation for what it is that you have, the struggles that those have gone before you. And today, when I'm filming this, it's actually Martin Luther King Day, and that's another struggle that continues here, of course, in our country. And even though there's still struggles with that kind of stuff going on, things are a lot better than it used to be. I'm not a slave, for example, but you know, study history so that you can not make or be less likely to make the mistakes of the past and learn from history. And this is this not only applies to your personal life, but also applies to pretty much anything else. You know your history. All right, my friends, Uber 757. My Uber and Lyft referral codes will be in the description below. My GoFundMe page will be in the description below, and also my link to Model IQ will also be in the description. Sorry about the long video, but I enjoy history. I love history. I think it's fascinating, and I think we can all learn something from it to better ourselves. So, from Jamestown, the actual Jamestown, Uber 757, out.